There are two kinds of summer trips. The kind where you spend the week hiding from the heat in an air-conditioned room, and the kind where the weather is the reason you came. Almost every list ignores the difference. So this ranking uses one filter and one filter only. Does summer actually make this place better, or are you just turning up when it is hottest and most crowded? That rule knocked out some very famous names. Somewhere in the next 10, people set an alarm for 3 in the morning, drive up the side of a volcano in the dark, and need a reservation just to stand there when the sun clears the horizon, 10,000 feet before breakfast. Any guesses? Stay with me and let's see which one takes the top spot. Opening things at number 10 is San Diego, the softest landing on this list. The temperature sits in the 70s from June through August, which means no heat plan, no rain plan, and no wasted days. Mornings belong to La Jolla Cove, where sea lions sprawl across the rocks, and the tide pools fill with starfish and small crabs as the water pulls back. One snorkeler said passing sea lions felt like standing next to a moving freight train. Balboa Park takes the afternoon with gardens, museums, and the San Diego Zoo. Coronado Beach is the postcard, the red-roofed Hotel del Coronado sitting behind it, and the Gaslamp Quarter runs dinner from fish tacos to white tablecloths. Old Town does Mexican food and history in one easy afternoon. Book beach parking early on weekends. Nothing here is difficult, which is the whole point. If you have never planned a trip like this before, would you rather start easy or start big? Sliding into number 9 is Cape Cod. Same idea, opposite coast, and a lot more sand to choose from. 6 national seashore beaches sit on one narrow arm of it. Coast Guard, Nauset Light, Marconi, Head of the Meadow, Race Point, and Herring Cove all fall inside Cape Cod National Seashore, where a day pass runs about $20 a vehicle or $60 for the season. Race Point faces west, so that is your sunset, and parking there is free after 4:30. One visitor called it picture perfect, with dozens of seals surfacing offshore. Provincetown at the tip handles food and nightlife, and here is the detail most people have backwards. The Pilgrims landed here first, in 1620, 2 months before Plymouth. Order the lobster roll, and note that Chatham and Falmouth have rooms when Provincetown is full. One real warning, this is white shark water, so swim near lifeguards and read the posted advisories. That is not a part I would skip, and if heat is the thing you are escaping, hold on, because the coolest state in the country in July is still ahead of us. 8th on the list is Mackinac Island. Cape Cod gives you traffic. Mackinac banned it outright. Cars have been illegal here since 1898, when the village council sided with carriage drivers whose horses kept bolting, and the ban has never lifted. You reach the island by ferry from Mackinac City or St. Ignace, about 30 minutes. Then you travel on foot, by bike, or behind a horse. Around 500 horses work here every summer. One traveler said the thing that gets you is the silence. Rent a bike and ride M185, the only state highway in America where cars are banned, an 8-mile loop around the shoreline. The Grand Hotel has stood here since 1887, by the fudge. Everyone does, and everyone pretends it was a spontaneous decision. Sitting at number 7 is Acadia National Park and Bar Harbor, where the temperature finally starts working in your favor, highs in the 60s and 70s, while the rest of the country bakes. Cadillac Mountain is the headline at 1,530 feet, the tallest point on the North Atlantic seaboard, and you need a vehicle reservation to drive up between late May and late October, $6 a car on top of the $35 park pass. It also needs a sunrise reservation, though it is not the answer to the puzzle from the top, because Cadillac is nowhere near 10,000 feet. And here is what the postcards leave out. Cadillac is only the first place in the country to catch sunrise between October and March. In summer, it is not. One driver who admitted being scared of mountain roads said the view was well worth the chewed nails. Skip the summit lot and pull over a turn below it. Go anyway, then eat a lobster roll on the pier in Bar Harbor, which is also where you should sleep. Go anyway, because the sunrise still earns the alarm, just not for the reason the postcards claim. Bring a jacket, the ocean sits near 55 degrees. Number 6 here is Lake Tahoe, inland and up, where the water is the attraction instead of the ocean. Emerald Bay became a national natural landmark in 1969, and the water genuinely is that color. Hike the 1-mile trail down down to Viking's Home, a 38-room Scandinavian castle built in 1929 with a sod roof and hand-carved dragons. The trail drops 500 feet, so the walk back up is the workout. Parking is $10, and the lots fill by 9 in the morning. One traveler's advice was to arrive early because it fills up fast. Though they still called it worth it, days run about 75 degrees, and nights drop to the low 40s, so pack layers. South Lake Tahoe holds most of the lodging, with casinos just over the Nevada line. Have you checked any of these places off your bucket list? Let me know which one was your favorite. Cracking the top 5 is Alaska's Inside Passage, the cool one I promised earlier. This is the coolest state in the country in July, sitting in the 50s and 60s while the lower 48 melts, and it is the one place here where summer is the entire point rather than a complication. Juneau is the hub, and Mendenhall is the star, a 13-mile river of ice, and the only glacier in Alaska you can drive to. It is one of 38, pouring off the 1,500 square mile Juneau ice field. Walk Photo Point Trail for the clean view, Nugget Falls for the longer one. Then get on the water, because humpbacks feed here all summer, and operators guarantee sightings from mid-May to mid-September. One traveler called the day breathtakingly beautiful. Juneau has the hotels, and the king salmon comes straight off the boat. In 4th place is Jackson Hole. Swap salt water for a real town at the foot of the Tetons. Town square is framed by 4 arches built from elk antlers collected off the nearby National Elk Refuge, the first assembled in 1953. The Snake River runs class 2 and 3 rapids through the canyon, gentle enough for beginners, while the scenic float through Grand Teton is the wildlife version, moose and elk and eagles. One traveler called the float the perfect relaxing way to see Jackson. Stay at the Hotel and find its Silver Dollar Bar, which has more than 4,000 uncirculated 1921 Morgan silver dollars set into the counter. Then sit on a saddle at the $1 Million Cowboy Bar, where Willie Nelson and Waylon Jennings both played. The farmers market fills town square on Saturday mornings. Coming up 3rd is Glacier National Park, 2 hours north, where summer stops being the best time to visit. It becomes the only time. The Going to the Sun Road runs 50 miles across the park and tops out at Logan Pass, 6,646 feet up. Plow crews work for weeks every spring on a single snowbank near the summit that piles 80 feet deep, which is why the whole route rarely opens before late June. This year, there are no vehicle reservations, though Logan Pass parking is limited to 3 hours from July 1st, and hikers get a shuttle. One rider who drove it with 9 friends said they had to stop at least 20 times to take pictures. Entry costs $35 per vehicle. Lake McDonald Lodge puts you inside the park, and Whitefish outside it is cheaper with more rooms. Just short of the top spot, 2nd place belongs to Yellowstone, sitting directly south, the park that invented the whole idea. It rests on one of the largest active volcanic systems on Earth. Old Faithful goes off on a roughly 90-minute cycle, sending scalding water up to 184 feet, and staff posts the next likely window at the visitor center so you can plan around it. Grand Prismatic Spring is the rainbow ringed pool a short drive north. Take Lamar Valley at first light, the stretch people call America's Serengeti, where the wolves work the tree lines. One traveler warned that the bison think the road is theirs. 3 of the 5 entrances sit in Montana. Reserve gateway lodging months ahead, stay 100 yards clear of any bear or wolf, and sleep at the Old Faithful Inn, a 7-story log lodge from the early 1900s. And the number 1 spot goes to Maui, the one that ruins other summer trips. Drive the road to Hana, 600 curves, and dozens of 1-lane bridges past waterfalls, bamboo forest, and black sand. Snorkel Molokini, the sunken volcanic crescent full of tropical fish and sea turtles. Spend whatever is left on Ka'anapali Beach, where most of the resorts sit alongside Wailia. So that 3 in the morning alarm, it is for Haleakala, the dormant volcano whose summit stands at 10,023 feet. The name means House of the Sun, and to watch sunrise from the top, you need a reservation for your vehicle between 3 and 7 in the morning, booked through recreation.gov for $1 a car and released 60 days ahead. One traveler who dreaded the early start called it totally worth it. People have been making that climb a long while. Mark Twain did it in the 1800s and called it the sublimest spectacle he ever witnessed. Book the reservation the day it opens, then go decide whether he was exaggerating. If you enjoyed this video, you'll love this next one.